All right, let's be honest, who doesn't love a good garden glow-up? But we're not just talking about your standard mow the lawn, plant a few flowers type of makeover. No, we're diving in deep. We're talking about transforming your outdoor space with some proper DIY projects. We're talking about the kind of projects that not only look good, but also do good. For the environment, for wildlife, and for your soul, you know what I mean? Because let's face it, there's nothing quite like the feeling of creating something with your own two hands. So whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, come along with me as we get our hands dirty and breathe some new life into our gardens. Are you ready? Let's get cracking. First up, we're tackling a project that's both practical and pretty darn cute. We're laying down a stepping stone pathway. Now, I love a good shortcut as much as the next person, but this is about more than just getting from A to B. This is about adding some personality to your garden. Now, you can buy stepping stones pre-made, but where's the fun in that? Making your own is dead easy, trust me. Plus, it means you can get really creative with the design. You can use all sorts of things to make your stepping stones. Concrete, hypertufa, even old broken tiles. For this project, we're going with concrete. It's cheap, it's cheerful, and it's pretty difficult to mess up. You'll need some quick-setting concrete mix, a mould, you can find these online or at your local garden centre, and some water. Oh, and don't forget your creativity. We're going to mix up our concrete according to the instructions on the bag, then pour it into our moulds. You can smooth it out with a trowel, but I quite like the rustic look, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. Now here's where the fun really starts. You can decorate your stepping stones however you like. You could press in some colourful pebbles, shells, or even old pieces of jewellery. I'm going for a more natural look, so I'm going to add some leaves and flowers. Once you're happy with your design, leave the stepping stones to dry completely. Once they're dry, carefully pop them out of the moulds and voila, you've got yourself some beautiful, unique stepping stones. Now all that's left to do is lay them out in your garden. It's a good idea to dig out a slight depression for each stone, just to make sure they're nice and stable. And there you have it. A charming and functional pathway that'll make you smile every time you step outside. Easy peasy, right? Right, on to our next project, and this one is close to my heart. We're going to be creating a haven for our buzzy little mates, a DIY bee hotel. Now you might be thinking, bees in my garden, are you mad? But listen, bees are our friends. They're essential for pollinating our plants and keeping our ecosystems ticking over, and sadly their numbers are declining. So by building a bee hotel, we can give them a helping hand and do our bit for the planet. Plus, it's a really simple project that even the most novice DIYer can handle. To make our bee hotel, we're going to need a few things. A wooden box, you can use an old birdhouse or even just nail a few pieces of wood together. Some bamboo canes, some hollow plant stems, and some dry leaves. Basically anything that will create little nooks and crannies for the bees to nest in. First things first, make sure your wooden box is clean and dry. Then start filling it with your chosen materials. Pack them in nice and tight, leaving no gaps. Bees like to feel safe and snug, you see. You can get as creative as you like with the design of your bee hotel. Some people like to paint theirs or decorate them with mosaics. I'm keeping it simple today, but feel free to let your imagination run wild. Once your bee hotel is full, find a sunny spot for it in your garden. It's best to face it south or southeast, so it gets the morning sun. And that's it. You've now got yourself a swanky new bee hotel that's sure to attract some buzzing guests. Keep an eye out for bees coming and going, and feel good knowing you're doing your bit to help these important creatures. Upcycled trellis, reaching new heights. For this next project, we're going up in the world. Literally, we're building a trellis. Now you might be thinking, a trellis? That sounds a bit fancy for me, but trust me, it's not as complicated as it sounds. And the best part is, you can easily make one out of old unused items lying around your house. It's all about getting resourceful, you know? A trellis is a great way to add some vertical interest to your garden. It's also a lifesaver if you're short on space, as it allows you to grow climbing plants upwards, freeing up valuable ground space. Plus, it can provide some much-needed support for your plants, helping them to grow big and strong. Now let's talk about upcycling. We're going to be using an old wooden ladder for our trellis today. It's got that rustic charm that I love, and it's surprisingly sturdy. But you could use all sorts of things. Old pallets, bamboo canes, even old bed frames. Get creative. First things first, give your ladder a good clean. We don't want any creepy crawlies hitching a ride on our new trellis. Then, you'll need to decide where you want to put it. It's a good idea to choose a spot that gets plenty of sunlight. Once you've found the perfect spot, sink the legs of the ladder into the ground. You might need to dig a little trench to make sure it's nice and secure. Now, all that's left to do is plant your climbing plants at the base of the ladder and train them to grow up the rungs. You can use garden twine or even old tights to gently tie the plants to the ladder as they grow. And there you have it, a unique and practical trellis that's giving your climbing plants the support they need to thrive. Shelf life. Building a DIY outdoor plant shelf. Let's be real, us gardeners, we love our plants. But sometimes things can get a bit, well, crowded. That's where our next project comes in. We're going to build a DIY outdoor plant shelf. It's the perfect solution for those of us who are short on space but big on greenery. This project is all about maximizing what you've got. You can build a single shelf, a multi-tiered masterpiece, whatever your little heart desires. And the best part is, it's a great way to show off your plant babies in all their glory. For this project, we're going to need some wood, some screws, a drill and a saw. If you're not confident using power tools, don't worry. You can always ask someone at your local DIY store to cut the wood to size for you. First up, we need to measure the space where we want our shelf to go. This will determine the size of our shelf. Once we've got our measurements, we can cut the wood to size. We'll need 2 long pieces for the sides, 2 shorter pieces for the top and bottom, and then some planks for the shelves themselves. Now it's time to assemble our shelf. We're going to use screws to attach the sides to the top and bottom pieces of wood. Make sure the screws are long enough to go all the way through the wood and into the other side. Once the basic frame is built, we can add the shelves. We're going to space ours out evenly, but you can arrange them however you like. And there you have it. A sturdy and stylish plant shelf that's perfect for displaying your favorite pots and plants. Waterworld, creating a wildlife water station. Our final project is a real heartwarmer. We're going to create a wildlife water station. Now, more than ever, our little wildlife mates need our help. With climate change and habitat loss, it's getting harder for them to find the water they need to survive. But we can make a difference, even in our own back gardens. This project is all about giving back to nature and creating a haven for all creatures, great and small. And the best part is, it's incredibly easy to do. All you need is a shallow dish or saucer. I'm using an old terracotta plant saucer, some stones and some water. That's it. First up, give your dish a good clean. We don't want to be spreading any nasty germs to our wildlife friends. Then arrange your stones in the dish. You want to create a variety of heights so that creatures of all sizes can have a drink. The stones will also give insects a place to land and prevent them from drowning. Now, carefully pour water into the dish, making sure it doesn't overflow. You want the water to be about 1 inch deep. And that's it. You've now got yourself a fully functioning wildlife water station. Place it in a shady spot in your garden and watch as the birds, bees and butterflies flock to your little oasis. Make sure you top up the water regularly, especially during hot weather. Garden goals achieved. So there you have it. 5 easy DIY projects that are guaranteed to transform your garden from drab to fab. We've covered everything from creating a welcoming pathway to providing a lifeline for wildlife. And the best part, these projects are all about using what you've got, getting creative, and making your garden a reflection of you. Remember, your garden doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be yours. So go on, get out there, get your hands dirty, and see what you can create. These simple DIY projects bring functionality and creativity to your garden. Whether you're adding beauty, supporting wildlife, or organizing your space, there's something here for everyone. Take your garden to the next level with these easy, rewarding projects.